How to work through unwanted emotions. This is something that comes up for each and every one of us, especially when we're feeling a little bit under the weather, or especially when we're giving up something like alcohol or smoking. Why? Because usually we go and we turn to things like alcohol when we're feeling upset, when we're feeling blue, when we're feeling hurt, right? And what it does is it kind of suppresses all of those emotions. It numbs us to feeling the feels that we don't want to feel. Now, it happens when we cut that out. Let's say we want to go sober, we want to stop drinking. Those emotions still will come up, right? And then we no longer turn to the alcohol. We no longer turn to the smoking. So what do? Well, one beautiful practice is to be able to sit with it. Now, how do you sit with it? Well, first of all, I want to differentiate the difference between sitting with it and wallowing with it. So let's just say something's going on in your life and you're feeling lonely. So instead of just being like pity partying on yourself, like, oh my gosh, I don't have my partner with me, or I don't have a lot of friends, this, that, and the other, just like raining on yourself, I challenge you to get one of these, a journal, and just write in it. Why? Because there are some of your friends that want to listen to all your crap, but when it gets to a point where you're just unloading on them all the time, it's very overwhelming to listen to. And it takes a lot of time out of people's day. So if you're somebody who likes to vent a lot or who likes to just express their emotions, do it in a freaking journal. It's the best friend you'll ever have. It's so small, you can bring it with you anywhere. Just write it down. I could probably go for an example in my journal of when I was feeling low, and you could see like in the first part of the page, I'm just like, oh, I'm feeling X, Y, and Z. I don't know why. I start like in the beginning, kind of like expressing how I'm feeling, and then towards the end, it just simply goes to action steps. I'm like, wait, what am I doing here? Do I really need to say this stuff? Can I do something else instead? So that leads me to the next point, right? So the first step is to sit with it. And one way to sit with it is to write it down because you're literally creating a reflection of how you're feeling and putting it on paper. And then once you start to write, you might find some sort of transformation, some idea, right? Where you're thinking, oh, well, I was feeling like this, but now what can I do about it? Do I want to sit with it? Do I want to cry? Do I want to move through it? Or do I want to put my energy into something else that might be more productive? And so a couple of days ago, I decided to work on my craft. I decided to create this 14-day confidence challenge and reach out to 50 people to see if they would be interested in doing something like this. So I went from feeling like crap, feeling down on myself, to reflecting in my journal, then thinking, you know what, I can use this downtime, right? Because when you're feeling like you're having these unwanted emotions, or you're feeling under the weather, like I feel right now, um, it gives you time to reflect on how you're feeling, and then it gives you time to do like some more self-love, some more self-reflection, and then also to create, to find that time to create those different things that you might normally not have time for, right? Because you're just going to different events, you're going shopping, you're doing all this stuff. But when you're sick or when you're feeling like you have unwanted emotions, it gives you time to reflect on yourself and to actually create. And if you think about it, like all of the most incredible artists in the world, like let's just say music, for example, most of them have created their gifts or their talents or their music from unwanted emotions. Like think of Alanis Morissette. Like she is one of those chicks that's just an angry chick, right? She's one of those girls that you don't want to mess with, right? Because all of her songs are about breakups and things like that, like unwanted emotions that she expressed creatively and made millions and a whole career based off of. Think about Beethoven, how he conducted all of these. I'm not a music buff, but I do remember how Beethoven was so like depressed, angry, and he created these beautiful works of art based off of those unwanted emotions. So next time you're feeling physically under the weather or emotionally under the weather, I invite you to first sit with it. Second, write it down in a journal. Third, figure out what you want to do, what type of action that you want to have, whether you want to sit with it for longer, like I said, have a more self care day, or create something, right? And if you don't know what to create, and let's say you're working a job that you don't necessarily love, it's not your passion, then freaking create a passion for you, a lifelong dream that you want to go for, something you can look forward to in the future. Think about your life 5 years from now and what you want your life to be like 5 years from now. And if you don't have that vision, then of course you're going to feel down because you don't know where you're going to go. And sure, some people can say, oh, I'm just going to go with the flow of life. Like, I get it. Cool. That's great. But if you have some sort of target to look at, to be like best case scenario, then when you feel like those unwanted emotions, you can think, okay, well then how can I move forward towards that goal on this downtime? How can I do something to create something that will get me closer to my goal? And if you don't have this 5-year vision, that's okay. The new year is coming right along. And if you want this next year to be a year of productivity and creation, then I challenge you just to write down a few things that you would like to have in the next 5 years. The most astronomical things you could ever think of. Whether it be how much money you want to make, what type of partner you're attracting, what type of house you want to live in, where you want to live, everything. Just think of that, write it down. I would highly recommend to create a vision board so you can look at it every day. This being said, I'm saying all this stuff to you because when you are feeling low energy, when you are feeling like crap, you can still hold on to that light, the light of the end of the tunnel, which is your goal for the next 5 years. Because you looked at it, you visualized it, and when you're on this downtime, you're going to be able to create these things using your unwanted emotion to propel you forward and actually be a proponent of creativity instead of something that brings you down. Now, this is one of the things that it actually drinking it brings you to a disadvantage because it shoots away those unwanted emotions and numbs them. But in this case, what you can do is you can be able to create from those unwanted emotions and you can propel yourself forward. Even if it's something like anger or sadness or rage, whatever it might be, those emotions are powerful and you can use them to create. You can use them to get you closer to your goals. So thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, write them down in the comments below. And like I said, if you don't have one of these things yet, I promise you it will be the best $10 you ever spend in your life. And if you keep writing in the journal every day and look at the progress from when you started to where you are now, I guarantee you it will be astronomical. Have a beautiful night. Thank you so much. Peace and love.